Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back. King Dre Clout here, back with another So You Want to Play video. Today we're going to be covering Raging Bolt. Now, very strong, powerful, fast, and popular deck in the format right now. So, just taking this deck, we're going to do what we did just like in the last video. We're going to go over some tabletop, just go over the cards in the deck, what they do, what our strategy is, how to set up and sequence to get that set up more often than not. After that, we're going to take that deck, put it onto the PTCGL ladder, go through some matchups, talk strategy, and figure out how to get wins against the decks that we face on the ladder. Now, just a tidbit I need to throw in there. Once again, this is not a replacement for coaching. This is just to help my newer players or players that are kind of unsure about sequencing, just to give some like base level information to help get people started. This is not a replacement for coaching. There's definitely room for improvement. If you want to get better at the overall game, I do suggest you still reach out to coaches. I myself have coaching available. Metafy link will be in the description. There's also plenty of other people on my team, TSS, that do coaching. Plenty of other just top players that coach out there that are qualified. But overall, if you want to get better at the game, definitely reach out to somebody that offers coaching. But this is just going to help get my newer players, stepping in, pick up the deck, know how to play it a little bit better than if you were just to go in blind. I really hope this helps. Let's get to the tabletop. All right, so the name of the deck, Raging Bolt. With that, we are going to be running 4 of these bad boys. 4 bolts to make sure we have the max consistency of our attacker. It's going to be our main attacker, probably the only one we really use. We do have one other in the deck that we use in some occasions, but we'll get there in a sec. Now, our main draw engine is going to be the Ogerpon EX. Now, this Ogerpon EX, let me just get a little bit of focus on there. See if we can get this locked in a little bit. There we go. Ogerpon EX, with its Teal Dance ability, you can attach 1 grass energy from your hand to this Pokemon and draw 1 card. So this is going to be the main draw engine. And because it is such a good and strong draw engine, we are going to be running 4 of these bad boys as well. Max consistency, we want to see these guys as many times as we can. Now with this deck, more times than not, you are probably going to want to be going second. You want to get that opening turn attack. And this deck does do that very well. It does get that first turn going second KO more times than not. It's just a very powerful run your opponent off the board kind of deck. Now, to add more gas, we have Squawkabilly EX. Now, this Squawkabilly EX you can only use on your first turn. Whether you go first or second doesn't matter, but it's only on your first turn. So if we go second, we have a Nest Ball, we have a Raging Bolt. We want to get this guy down, hopefully get some energies. Hopefully there's some energies in our hands so we can discard them off the Squawk and Seize ability, which discards your whole hand and you draw 6. Using that, we can draw 6 and hopefully hit in our combo of our supporter that loads our energy, another energy to attach, and more energy to Teal Dance with. And we'll go over all the good things. Now, with this deck really suffers from disruption. So Ionos and Unfair Stamps can really hurt this deck. So a new card that we got from Sharded Fable, Fezandipiti EX, very good card. We're going to want to put that down on the bench probably after we take our first KO, just so then if we do get Ionoed or Unfair Stamped, this after your opponent takes a KO, you can draw 3 cards. So if they KO our attacker and they Iono us or Unfair Stamp us, we can draw 3 with this on our first turn coming back. Now, sometimes what decks will do is try to throw a single prize attacker at us to throw off our map. We take a 1 prizer, they keep taking our 2 prizers, and they win the prize map that way. And so we have a way to get around that without having to play a card like Boss's Orders. We have Iron Bundle, and the Iron Bundle is going to use its ability Hyper Blower, which our opponent gets to choose. So if they don't have any other single prizers, it's going to force up a 2 prizer into the active if they try to leave 1 in the active for us to try to go after. Now, one big thing is that we have a supporter that gets energy out of the discard and advances it to our attackers. So besides Squawk and Seize, another great way for us to discard energy and draw cards is Radiant Greninja. Pretty familiar card by now. A lot of people know this card. Discard a basic energy, or not basic energies, any energy from your hand, and draw 2 cards. Very good draw engine. Now, one of the biggest pains right now, our world champion deck, is Iron Thorns. So that deck really is annoying and can beat us if we lose too much gas. So a single way around it is just to play a Flutter Mane. If we can get that down, put it in the active, get a bunch of teal dances off, even just for one turn, we're one-shotting them and we just win the race that way. Now, the only other attacker that we really have in this deck is going to be this Sandy Shocks. It's just the baby version. It's a one prize attacking option that will allow us to swing. So its first attack, Magnetic Burst, it's 20. And then I believe it is, yeah. So if you have 3 or more energies in play, it does 70 more damage. So you're doing 90 damage flat. And the second attack, Power Gem, 60 damage. Really not really that good. The first attack is really what we want to use. 3 energies in play, we're hitting for 90 damage. 90 damage is pretty good against most single prize attackers like, the single prize decks like Lost Box. Not really that great into Ancient Box. We're not really hitting anything for a KO at 90 damage besides like another Flutter Mane if they have a Flutter Mane active. But it is an option to put down on the board to throw off a prize map as well. If we're up against other 2 prize beat stick decks like a Mirror Match or Turbo Moon or something like that, throw that bad boy, throw off their prize map, and we win going 2-2-2. All right, so that's going to be our Pokemon line. Now, the ace spec of choice for this deck, you're an aggressive deck, you want to take aggressive KOs on 2 prizers. Best ace spec for that is going to be the Prime Catcher. So we're playing Prime Catcher as our ace spec. There are going to be 2 other switch cards, or switch carts. Now, we really, really want to find our energies. We want to find grass energies to draw with our Ogerpons. We want to find our lightning and fighting basic energies to either discard with Squawk or draw cards with Ninja and discard to get those into play. So we're running 4 of the Earthen Vessels. Those are going to help you discard 1 card, which can be an energy card. You can discard a lightning or fighting, grab another lightning and a grass, draw more cards, go burr. That's going to be the name of the game, is we want to draw cards. Now, because we are discarding so much energy, both to draw and because we have to discard energy off of our Raging Bolt. So our Raging Bolt attack is actually the biggest part about this deck, is that it hits 70 damage for each basic energy that you discard from your entire board. Doesn't have to be off of this Pokemon. As many energies as you have in play, you can discard them and do 70 more damage. And its requirement is a fighting and lightning. So that means the Ogerpons, the energy that you load up on the Ogerpons can also be discarded for that 70 damage. So all of that being accounted for, we're discarding cards to draw, we're discarding cards to attack. We need to recover them. So we are running 3 of the Energy Retrieval, which lets you grab 2 energies out of your discard pile and put them to your hand. You can get more lightning and fighting if you need one to attach for turn. You can grab more grass so you can draw more with your Ogerpons. And those are going to go pretty hand in hand because we do play a 4 of our supporter, Professor Sada's Vitality. We're running 4 of these. Professor Sada Vitality lets you take 2 energies, up to 2 energies from your discard pile, and attach 1 to 2 different ancient Pokemon. So we want 2 Raging Bolts usually in play so we can get 2 energies in play. But very important supporter, we're going to be running 4 of those. So that's also going to help us recover energy. And after we advance those energies, we also get to draw 3 cards. So it's 2 energies from the discard, draw 3. Pretty powerful supporter. Now we do run just a ton of item cards, which we'll get into those right now. But because we do that and we want to see as many items and draw as much as we can, we do play 2 PokéStop. These 2 PokéStop, you spin it, you use it, you look at the top 3 cards, any items you find there, you put into your hand. The others, anything that's not an item, you just discard. It stays in the discard. Now, because it's very scary to lose one of our supporters, we are running a Pal Pad, which is an item we can find off of the PokéStop, or we can just draw into, recover our Sadas. We have Lost Vacuum to deal with pesky Bravery Charms, capsules, all that annoying stuff. If we want to get rid of our opponent's stadium, we can do that. Pokemon Search, 4 Nest Balls. And then we only play 4 of those Sada's Vitality. So we do run 4 Pokégear, so we have ways to find that supporter. The Pokégear is going to let you look at the top 7 cards, find a supporter, and put it in your hand. And then we also need more dig ability, so we're playing 4 Trekking Shoes. Trekking Shoes lets you look at the top card of your deck. You can discard it or keep it. If you discard it, you get to draw one more card and you keep that second card. So more turbo dig through the deck. Now, we don't run a ton of Gust. We're only going to be running one copy of Boss's Orders to bring up a Pokemon off our opponent's bench. And because we really are a more item-focused deck, we really want to focus on using Professor's Vitality to get energy in play, we are running 3 copies of Pokemon Catcher. It is a coin flip card. We're in a coin flip meta right now. Heads, you get to pick a Pokemon off your opponent's bench and bring it up. It's Boss's Orders, but in a coin flip. If it's Tails, it does nothing. Unfortunate if you hit Tails, but we run a few of them, so we have some options. We have other Gust, we have Prime Catcher, so we have other ways to get there. Now, because the most energy we want to see will be the grass energies, because we want to draw with our Ogerpons, we are running 6 of our grass energy. Now, the attack being lightning and fighting, it's only 1 of each, and we can recover them pretty easily with Sadas over and over. So we're only running 3 of each. 3 lightning, 3 fighting. We're going to throw those, discard at least 1 of each so we can get them in play, get them advanced with Sada, and manually attach the other one that we're missing. So this is about the base 60 that most decks are probably running at this point in this stage of the format going into Baltimore Regionals. This deck will change quite a bit going into Stellar Crown, I would assume. But the overall engine and attacking with the deck will be the same no matter which format we go into. And it will stay viable, I would assume, for a while. The Area 0 Ogerpon combo works great, allows more bench space, allows you to work with more attackers. I could see this deck probably getting really funky going into the Stellar Crown format, but still being really strong. So let's go through. We'll shuffle up and go through some test hands and get the sequencing. All right, just getting in a few shuffles here. Off camera, I did get like an extensive like pile, riffle, and now we're just doing a few mass shuffles now, just to get it really randomized since my deck was in order. Don't recommend pile shuffling between games if you were already shuffling your deck in order. Doing a quick pile shuffle's fine. Into some riffles, and now we're just finishing up with a few mashes. And all right, and give ourselves a little cut. Cool. Now, most times you're gonna want to go second in this format. I think a lot of decks are trying to go second, so the coin toss will kind of matter. So we'll just flip, call tails. Oh, it fell off of the table. It was heads. We'll go off heads. Let's say our opponent chooses to go second. So we're going first. Now, going first can be scary right now in this format. But luckily, in our hand, we did start a single prizer. So if we're going first and we're not sure what we're up against, we're going to go ahead and start that single prize attacker. We're going to put these 6 cards to the side. Now, just for this, for the sake of saving time, we are going to just put our prize cards up so we don't have to prize check. So right now, looking at it, we prize our Squawk, Iron Bundle, Flutter Mane, and a Sada. Few cards that could be important depending on what matchup we hit. So, I mean, if we hit just a regular, like, Turbo Moon, or we hit a Raging Bolt Mirror, something like that, not the end of the world cards to be prizing, but we'll see how it goes. So we're going to draw for turn. So we top decked a Sada's Vitality. Now, the very first thing before I search my deck, or before I start drawing through my deck, is I don't have anything that really helps me out here. I'm probably not getting KO'd right away, but I don't want to lose my Fez. The card in our hand that we're going to be able to recover is Grass Energy. So going ahead, playing that Vessel, discard an energy that we know we can get back with our retrievals, and getting our first deck search is really going to help us out, just so we know what kind of lines of play we're going to look for. So now we're looking through. We know that if we hit, a nest ball off of our PokéStop, that we're not going to be able to get Squawk and Seize. So we know that Squawk is off the table, so that's going to change the way that we go for Pokemon if we find outs to searching for Pokemon. Now, I have a Grass Energy in the discard now. I think one of the main things I want to focus on is getting a Fighting or Lightning down. And because I have a Fighting Pokemon in the active, I think I'll just grab the Fighting in case by the end of the turn I decide I want to attach. I have that. And then I also want to put down a Grass Energy, so if I do hit and out to an Ogerpon, I have the option to draw cards. The beauty of our deck is that we're not, if we are forced to go first and we don't find our Raging Bolt turn 1, we're not playing a supporter turn 1 to get energy onto our Ancients, and we don't have to evolve. Our deck is just all basics, which is really, really great. So, I mean, we can work towards drawing more drawing Nest Balls or drawing a Bolt on the following turn. So I think getting energy in play and prioritizing getting an Ogerpon down may be like more important on this first turn with a lackluster hand. All right, so those go to the discard. 2 energies into our hand. Take a look. Next thing we would do is we're going to throw the PokéStop into play. We're definitely going to use it. Before I do that, I am going to use the Trekking Shoes. I'm going to look at the top card. Raging Bolt, definitely keeping that guy. Throw that down. Now we'll go ahead and spin the PokéStop. Look at the top 3, 2, 3. All right, we lost 2 Pokemon. We found a Vessel. Getting Lightning and fighting into the discard, thinning our deck of energy so we're not drawing into our energy next turn. I'm going to take a Lightning since I have a fighting already in the discard and another Grass. I really just want to focus on making sure I get the energies I need to draw cards. And I'm already 1 energy in the discard, so that guarantees I can use my Professor Sada's next turn. Unfortunately, we're only getting 1 basic down, so if there is like a bundle or some sort of gust on the other side, it is going to be kind of annoying to have to deal with that. If we are going against Turbo Moons, they play Pokécatchers as well, so we would just have to hope that they flip tails or they don't hit their prime catchers and stuff like that. These 2 go to our hand. So we have 3 energy that we're looking for, a Sada that we can use. Hopefully, if it's against a turbo deck, they just can't gust and they KO this. We can use Fezandipiti, and then we really already have a Sada in hand, so Pokégear is not really useful here. I don't think we attach here. I think we go ahead and wait, because if we can potentially draw like a Nest Ball or Radiant Greninja off the top of the deck, we can discard this and get 2 energies into play. So I think we hang on to the manual attachment this turn. Let's assume we are going against a turbo deck. Best case scenario, they just get a 1 prize KO. Going into our second turn, we'll draw. We find our prime catcher. So probably the first thing I want to do here is put down this Fezandipiti. I really do want help. So one of the main things I'm going to do that's going to help me is finding more Pokemon. So we'll draw 3, 2, 3. Okay, not very helpful cards to find. They're not really helping us get a KO here. I'd rather try to find a way to use Sada for 2 energy. So I'm going to use PokéStop. All right, and there we go. We found a Nest Ball. Now with the Nest Ball, any other turn I may have actually prioritized getting Ogerpon, but because I already have Sada in hand and I'm going to draw 3 and get 2 energies into play, I want to probably get that Raging Bolt down. With the Raging Bolt down, go ahead and take a look at our discard. So looking at our discard, we have Grass and Fighting, 2 Grass and Fighting in the discard right now. Grass isn't going to help us load up an attacker, but it is an energy we can put into play that's going to help us swing. So what we'll do, assuming there's a 2 prizer in the active, we do have Prime Catcher. If there's not a 2 prizer in the active and we want to go for a 2 prizer on the bench, we definitely want to attach this to the bench because we're going to Prime Catch up and bring it up. But just assuming there's already a 2 prizer in the active and we're not going to be using our Prime Catcher, we'll just go ahead and attach Fighting to the active. Since that's what we're presumably going to attack with, we're going to manually attach that Lightning to make sure we get that attack off. The Grass doesn't do anything for the bench, but we'll discard it. We get to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Sweet. We hit an Ogerpon. We can use the Teal Dance ability. Get another energy into play. Draw 1 card. It's a retrieval. Not too much else that we're going to be able to do. If there is another target that we'd prefer to go after, we could flip this Pokemon Catcher just depending on what's in the active. But if they did get an attack off, what we want to take out is probably in the active already. So we'll attach the Lightning, put that there. We have a Pokégear, so we could find another Sada if we don't draw into another one. We now have an Ogerpon to start drawing cards. Fezandipiti if our bolt goes down, and we're going to be hitting 280 on our second turn. So whatever's in the active, we're most likely knocking out after our opponent doing just one turn, whether it's a baby Pokemon because they're running an Evo deck, or if it's another big basic deck and they have like a Charm or a Future Capsule, most likely we might be short depending on what Pokemon it is. But Iron Hands with a Charm 280, we're knocking it out. We can knock out pretty much any Moon, Bolt, Miraidon, anything else that's a 2-prizer, that's a big basic that we may be wanting to chase down. If not, we can always Prime Catcher, or Pokemon Catcher, try to find a Squawk or Lumineon or Rotom V that's on the bench that we could take out for 2 prizes on our first turn. All right. So, very strong turn. As you can see, the deck flows really well. Even when it doesn't draw particularly, I feel like we didn't draw particularly well, but we were still able to find a way to get an attack off. Wasn't the most optimal start, especially prizing our Squawk, which is really what we want to use to turbo through this deck. So we'll go through another hand. This time we'll assume that we're going second. Say we won the toss. We want to go second. We're trying to donk our opponent. Hopefully they only start one Pokemon. They attach pass, or they start a 2-prizer. And we get to just, like, you know, press the aggression by going 2-2-2 for the rest of the game. So that's what we're going to want to shoot for. Get a couple more of these in. Get some good randomization so we can get a good random hand. Hopefully a well-balanced hand. And we'll just give ourselves a cut. Draw our opening 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot of energy. 6, 7. Wow. Very, very lackluster hand. Prizing the Squawk is very, very insane. Oh my goodness. All right. So, pretty bad start. So, we're looking at a bunch of energy, a supporter that doesn't help us draw cards, and a vessel. So we need help off this top deck. We're going second. Our opponent got started. A Flutter Mane does not seem strong whatsoever. Now, got to make sure we don't get donked. We're probably just going ahead and discarding the lightning energy, grabbing a fighting and another lightning energy. And this is going to be a very, very rare but sometimes necessary Burst Roar turn. So if we're going against a deck like Charizard, they're not going to be able to one-shot our Raging Bolt if we don't take a KO anyways. Miraidon needs to work pretty hard to hit 240 HP. The Mirror, if we give them this turn, we probably lose the 2-2-2 race. If we're against Moon and they got set up and they get the first 2-prize KO, we're probably losing the prize race as well. So this is just depending on what we are playing against. It's pretty bad to have to Burst Roar on our first turn going second instead of Bellowing Thunder for a KO. So these two go to our hand. I have more lightning in hand than anything else. I'm just going to go ahead and attach the lightning and Burst Roar. Discard the hand, and we're going to be drawing 6 cards. So like I said, if we're up against something like Charizard or maybe even Ancient, oh my gosh, I shuffled. I really shuffled well. I really did. Sometimes Pokemon randomization is crazy. All right, so assuming we're playing against a deck that does not donk us, then cool. We get to play the game one more turn. We draw. It's a retrieval. We do have another Ancient Pokemon in play, so we can play the Sada to get the max 2 into play. Definitely going to put a fighting onto the active, lightning onto the bench, and we get to draw our 3. 1, 2, 3. Jeez, I have no idea what's going on with this randomization, but we can still manually attach return as well. We did hit a light fighting. We can put that there. We can get a KO. We'd pull a Nest Ball and a Vacuum off, so we could get another Raging Bolt if we needed. Still hitting 280 on the second turn, but if we were going second, there's probably more time with this format. We're more times than not losing that one. So for the sake of showing what this deck is actually supposed to do, let's get one more opening hand, assuming we're going second once again. Hopefully we don't prize our Squawk. Squawk prize in back-to-back hands, back-to-back games is pretty annoying. I feel like it does not happen that often when I play this deck. Pretty funny that it's happened twice. And this is how you know I'm keeping it real, uncut, no funny business, not just trying to overhype this deck, because the randomization that I've been showing is pretty real. No cuts, no breaks, just shuffling, going into the next one. And yeah, it's not always pretty. Sometimes RNG can be funny and it can be cruel. All right, get a couple more of these in. Hopefully we're not drawing all energy again. We're not Lugia. We shouldn't be seeing all energy. But hey, what do we run? We still run 12 energy, which I guess is a pretty decent amount of energy. All right, give ourselves a nice little cut. Draw our 7. All right, so we have the option to start a single prizer. And 7. All right, so we have a few options to start. I do like starting the ancient Pokemon. It's 1 retreat cost, and it's an ancient that can be loaded with Sada's Vitality. So we're going to go ahead and put our prizes off to the side here. The Retrieval, a Sada, Energy. Okay, so a pretty good balance of our prizes this time. So going second, this does look like it's going to be kind of tough, but we're going to take a look at the top deck. Okay. So we're definitely going to bench our Ogerpon and our Ninja that help us draw Pokemon. This hand is not very, very good. So what we will do is we will play the Nest Ball. No, going through, seeing what our prize cards are. Cool. Well, we have our Squawk, so that bad boy comes down. We have another Nest Ball. We have an Ancient in play. We're going to play the second Nest Ball. And we're going to go ahead and throw down a Bolt. I know a lot of support Pokemon. I know our options on what we started were not the best, but I definitely think starting the Ancient here is correct. In case we whiff, it is a single prizer that we can keep on the bench. We have Ninja, keep on the active, and then if we get bundled, we have Ninja on the bench that we can give up as another single prizer, so we're not forced into giving a 2 prize card off of a bundle, force them to hit heads on a catcher, have prime or have boss. All right. We don't want to find Sada before we Squawk, because we obviously don't want to discard them. So the rest of this is fine to just be Squawk and Seized. So we're going to use the ability, Squawk and Seize, draw 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ton of energy. So we're going to go ahead and use our concealed cards to get rid of that lightning, so we have something to load up. Vessel and Nest Ball. So before I use the Vessel, I really do want to get more out of this. I have 2 grass in hand, so I don't mind using the Vessel to get rid of a grass. I want to have a fighting energy to attach to my Bolt in case I want to attack. And I probably will just grab an additional lightning energy. There's plenty of grass in my hand. Because there's only 1 bench space left on my bench as well, and with the Nest Ball in hand, I need a Sada's in order to get an attack off, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and use that Nest Ball now and grab another Ogerpon, just so that I know I'm going to be drawing cards. The main thing I need to do here is draw more cards so I can see more outs to my Sadas. There's 3 in the deck. There should be 2 more Pokégears, so we have about 5 outs to Sada. We'll thin out one of those before we start drawing more cards. So do that. So now we'll go ahead and use first Teal Dance. Draw 1. Boom, there's our Sada. And we'll use the second Teal Dance. I'm all out of ability markers, so tilt that, draw 1. Now what's awesome about this hand is that we did have a Switch Cart, so we don't have to waste an energy retreating. We can actually just play our Switch Cart, put the Bolt that we want into the active. We're going to use our Sada, go through our discard. We have a lightning and a grass, so we're going to put the lightning onto the active, grass onto the Flutter Mane, because why not? Draw 3. Cool. We can even just start to get more discarded. So we have a lightning in play. We'll Earthen Vessel away the lightning energy. We're going to want to draw more with our Ogerpons next turn. So grabbing one of each of these should be fine. Another fighting and a grass energy. Have more ways to draw and still load. So we do still need to manually attach to our bolts most likely every turn. It's rare that we're in an instance where an energy stays on a bolt and we're able to just Sada and not have to manually attach. So we take those energies out. We can attach our fighting for turn. Hand doesn't look the strongest next turn, so it's a good thing that we have the ability to draw. And with that, 5 energies are in play. We're knocking out anything that's in the format on their first turn, whether it's a big basic or it's a small basic. We're knocking out whatever. So pretty good turn 2. We draw more energy. We can draw more if we take a 2-prize knockout. This is pretty much, you know, it's not ideal. We'd rather this Flutter Mane be another bolt. We would rather have started it, but not the worst setup. We still got to our first turn going second KO. As you can see, this deck has so much draw ability, a lot of power, especially to be swinging. There's 5 energies in play there. That's hitting 350 on your first turn if you were to max out and discard all of them. You're probably never needing to discard all of them. But really great. Pretty much how the sequencing would go for those hands that we've seen, both lackluster hands and powerful hands. Really good stuff. Deck has been popular for a reason. So let's go ahead and hop onto the ladder, get some matchups, and see how those games work out. All right, getting into our first match on the ladder. Coin toss incoming. Opponent chose heads. It is heads. What do they decide to do? All right, they decided to go second. So assuming this is a donk deck, we're going to want to, starting the bolt. We're probably going to want to get a single prizer on the board here into the active. Yep, looks like it's a bolt mirror. They played charm though. That was a charm, so only thing I could see there being bolt. Grass energies, Sadas, yeah, it's definitely bolt. All right, the hand is not looking too strong either, unfortunately. Yeah, I definitely want to thin out the deck of energy before I start drawing cards. Let's go ahead and Trekking Shoes. I really don't even want the bolt right now. I need something else. Sure. At least this is going to draw more cards. Oh my goodness. Yep, not fun. Let's go ahead and try and make this harder for them. Oh, doesn't make it harder for them. Sweet. So they start off with the Trekking Shoes. Must have been a good card. There's a Vessel. Getting rid of Pokégear. They probably already have a Sada in hand. Okay, grabbing double energy tells me they probably have Squawk or Ninja or just something to draw with. Iono. We just lost all of our energy that we had in our hand. But that means we're not getting attacked this turn, which is pretty good. We do have N energy. We can draw with this. Ugh. If they can pivot into the Ninja, that's really annoying as well. There's a PokéStop. They get a Retrieval. That's not really going to help them here. Okay. So we see the miss, and now we need to be able to... All right. They did not make it worse for us either. We love to see the fair flips. The fair flips. I flip tails, you flip tails too. Okay, so we're definitely doing this. I only have one energy in the discard. I think I'm going to go ahead and draw first. Draw one. It's a Flutter Mane. I think I'm okay hitting the PokéStop here. Okay. That works out. We can Vessel this away. We can grab a Fighting and a Grass. We can do this. Either want Ninja or another Bolt. Okay, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm guaranteed to hit the KO now. I think I can just go ahead. I can throw this down if I want to. No, we probably just get another Bolt. We just throw down another Bolt. One energy in the discard still sucks. But we draw the Sada. So we get to put the energy in play. Draw more cards. Put that there. Draw 3. We can attach here. We can choose. No, I don't think we want that. Nest Ball is great. That gives me a Greninja. And we're going to draw more cards. Yeah, this is where we want to be. Cool. So we're definitely taking all 3 off of the Raging Bolts because I'm not really sure if they're going to be able to answer or not. We'll probably just take off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 280. Yeah. That'll get the knockout. So us taking the first 2 prize knockout is very huge. It's what we want to do in this matchup. Prime Catcher and PokéStop. So if they push Ninja and have no answer, then they push the Ogerpon. So if they whiff, they can go into probably retreat into the Ninja is their plan. Okay, there's a retrieval, so they can draw more. They can use Radiant Greninja, and they can get an attachment. And they need... All right. Looking pretty rough. All right, they're going for a boss. Is this a stall strat? Or are they just going to swing into my Ogerpon with 1 energy? Both options are pretty interesting. Okay, so they are going for the boss. They don't get a KO, right? 30, 60, 90, 120, correct? Yeah. So it was just the stall strat here. All right, we top deck Sada. It's really all we needed to do. Make sure we hit a Sada and we're chilling. What do we have? We have 2 of each. So we'll just put... We prized the Fighting, so we have a higher odds of drawing a Lightning. So just do double Fighting. Oh no, we did have a third. I don't remember. Maybe it was the last game. They're all blending together now. Draw. Cool. We retrieval for Grass Lightning. So we guarantee our attack. Here's another Ogerpon. We attach Lightning. We can just PokéStop here, thin out our deck of more stuff. Cool. I think at this point I could just... How many grass do I have in here? Just one. It's trekking shoes. Don't want that. There's grass. Okay. Put that there. Draw a vessel. PokéStop's probably staying in play this entire game, so we can get rid of that PokéStop. Grab the grass. Put another Ogerpon down. Teal dance to that. Probably just vessel that away. And we Bellowing Thunder in case they can Oko us. I think the odds of them Okoing us are pretty low though, so I think we just take one of. I think they conceded. Yep, taking the four prize lead in this matchup. You're not coming back. So Mirror, who can take the first two prize cards? They made us go first. They whiffed. We did not on our first attacking turn. Usually how it goes. All right, so let's go in and get a second matchup, see how it goes. All right, going into our next matchup. See what we face. Our opponent chose tails. It's heads, so we'll go second. Alright, starting bundle. With a Switch card in hand, I guess it's not bad, but we don't really have much playability out of this hand. The Trekking Shoes is going to have to carry some weight here. We're going to need a nest ball, hopefully get into a squawk, something that's going to help us actually play the game. This hand is not very strong. But Trekking Shoes gives us something to do. All right, they started Squawk. Let's see what we're up against. They're taking their time, looking at the opening hand. Is it that good they need to figure out the sequencing, or is it that bad they're trying to figure out if they want to just Squawk and seize? Okay, here's a nest ball. Ogerpon. There's a Teal dance. See if we find out if this is Drago or if this is Bolt Mirror. Probably Drago with an Ultra Ball. Yep, definitely Drago. So they definitely need to get a Drago V down here. Try to get an attachment onto the Drago. Now that we know this is Ready Drago V, probably just slamming down the Fez. Goodra is an annoying Pokemon to deal with. Alright, so they have the Drago. They can Squawk, get Goodra into the discard. They have Dragapult in the discard. They have Super Rod. They get their V-Star back. Okay. See what they're going to get going here. If they're going to put another Ogerpon down. They got the fire attachment. There's the E-Switch, which is very scary because it could be punishing if I hit like Prime Catcher. If I just pop off here, it could be very punishing. Jeez. No, we can't even take that. We need something else. Oh my god. The game says you get this and you like it. We will see how this goes. Definitely one of the more lackluster turns we've had. Are they going for a motive? Well, there's no energy to accelerate. No, they're vesseling. Well, now they can motivate. So they're just thinning energy out. Their hand must not be very good. 3 of those 5 cards are energy cards. Yep. There's the attach. There's an Ultra Ball. So they have the V-Star. They're able to V-Star. It's very scary as well, though, because they're going really, really hard into this V-Star if they are. And if I can answer back, there's all the Super Rods used already, so there's no recovery left. Yep, Legacy Star. There's no pivot. There's an E-Switch. They can E-Switch retreat. Yikes. There's no gust, so they're not chasing a 2-prizer here. There's not even anything they can really use in here, actually, that can gust. I mean, they can Rolling Iron and hope it protects their Dragon from being one-shot the next one. Which means pretty fair chance. 360 is pretty hard to hit. It's not an easy number to reach by any means. So there's a Fezandipiti, which I don't hate. There's research, so they can dig more. Think that's good. They definitely hit a pivot now. Oh, I guess they're into the same play they were forced to use. So either way, they were forced into that play. Now they can Legacy and set up 60 somewhere. If they split it up, which they probably will, they'll probably put 30-30. Because they're going to want to use Dragapult to take a 2-prize KO. Set up another, set up an eventual 4-prize turn, maybe. It's definitely what you want to do. But I think you should use Goodra, because it's very scary if I get to a one-shot here. But I could see why an opponent would choose choose the Phantom Dive. Okay, yeah, it was just the Goodra. That's the correct play. I do believe that is the correct play. Because this guy goes down, you lose. It's over. Alright, we're Fezin. Sure. This doesn't really do much for us. We definitely need to get into some cards that we can draw with. Sure. Oh my goodness. I need a Earthen Vessel really badly. I will take that. We'll take a Teal Dance. Retrieval does not help me here. Not too much, though. Boom. Okay. I need heads. I need to take a 2-prize card here. It's a tails. It's not heads. It's not fun. We shouldn't get Oko'd here. Not quite sure. Yeah, this doesn't. Oh, yeah, doesn't hit us. It's 10 short. Yeah, we should be okay. Probably not getting one shot here. But we did let them buy time to get another Drago down. Yeah, that's what they'll do here, is get another Drago down. They have 2 E-switches. Now this turn to get a free attachment if they have energy in hand. This is probably just another swing with Goodra. Okay, yep. So they're already pretty close to having their second Drago down. boss is fine. They're going to go after my Fez. It's another Gudra? Well, yeah, because you can get a ping damage. Oh, no. Haxorus. Yeah, not a bad play. Not a bad play. Yeah, this is not helping us whatsoever. Our draws have not been very good this game. We are living off of shoes. Definitely need that. We're going to have to ninja it up here. There's so many earthen vessels. Like, there's just so much that we can find here. It's ridiculous. Alright, we get grass fighting. We really need Sada. It's not Sada. Pokégears. Oh, thank goodness. Can we find it? Probably thin something else out. Probably just grab another bolt. How many Sadas are in the discard? Just one? Yeah, we probably don't pal pad. Thank goodness. Alright, this probably keeps us in it. We only need to get rid of 3 here. I think we just get rid of all of the... I'm trying to think, actually. No, because they don't one-shot us. They're going to have to gust. They'd probably just run out of attackers here. We're probably just... Yeah, now I think we just run them over. It's going to be pretty tough for them to get another attacker off. There's Mew. There's a nest ball for another Ogerpon. Probably. This is where the one prize has been like coming in clutch. Starting the bundle came in really clutch in this matchup. Double Super Rod is gone. There's one more E-switch. They need to have a... They need superior retrieval. Okay, yeah. So if that card's burnable, then they can draw 3. They restart, and then now they Fez. Maybe. Okay. Ayano doesn't feel great. But we have another Sada in the deck. Okay, we can draw cards. Yeah, they don't one-shot us here either. I did not do a good job of price checking, so I don't know if there's another lightning energy in the deck. Should be plenty of grass still in the deck, though. So we have Vessel away Flutter to find something else. But if they don't take an Oko here, they just lose. Okay, so they do have the one-shot. Haxorus is definitely not what they want to do, though. But I think that's kind of what they have to do, right? To take a one-shot here. Has to be that Haxorus, I would assume. Well, now they deck themselves out if they use Haxorus, though. They're just using Gudra again? No, this is they're setting up a 4-prize turn. They're trying to set up the 4-prize turn. But how do you set up the 4-prize turn if I one-shot? Okay, I have 2 Sadas in the bottom of the deck, so we need to shuffle the deck. Fighting in hand, so now we just take double grass. We draw. Pokégear. Draw. It's 1. Sure, that's even better. Draw. There's that. Cool. We have retrieval now. Pokégear. We hit 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all we need. Let me switch card into that. Yeah, I'm not sure what else they do here. Yep. Do we even draw these last 2 cards? Yeah, we need to be able to thin out as much as we can. Okay, we have Prime Catcher, we have Switch cards. Okay. Yeah, just take 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. Without having another Drago set up, I'm not quite sure how they get there. 2 Ionos down. Most lists are not running more than 2. So we're probably not getting Iono'd here. With that being the case, we probably just win. Oh, there's the Halucha ping. Does that do anything? It would have KO'd this, but now it doesn't because of the switch cart. So they could have actually KO'd this with the ping, which would have been hilarious. And they take 2 prize cards, and they just need an Ogerpon, Gust, KO this, or Ninja. They would just need Gust, Teal Dance attach. But without that, they lose. Yeah. Sure. Now here comes the boss stall Strat. But we have Prime Catcher, so we're not really worried about it. Do they even have enough recovery to outlast us? Not sure if a stall tactic even really works here. Motivate. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny stuff. 1. So we top deck 5, draw. We're guaranteed Prime Catcher. We're guaranteed our Prime Catcher, and we just win. Sweet. Or we just draw it off the top, because we're just goated. And we Teal Dance, boom. And we Teal Dance, boom. And then we Prime Catch Up, Mew, Bolt, and we Thunder. And we could have maxed out more damage by manually attaching too. So that's pretty funny. Hit the big one-shot KO for the game. Regidrago's pretty decent matchup for us. All right. Saw the bad matchup. Saw a good matchup. But either way, the game, you get to play the game most times with Bolt. It's hardly ever you're just in a bricked spot where you're attached passing, which is really great. Another reason why I really have been loving the deck. So, there, you seen it? Seen the good. We've seen the bad. We've seen the pluses. We've seen the downs. So, Raging Bolt, very, very good deck. Powerful deck. Fast deck. If you're looking to pick this up, I hope this video was very helpful. Next video, I might be moving into Turbo Moon. I'm not sure. I'm taking a look at what. First of all, what cards I have. I don't have Petrons. I might have to get some soon. But hope that helped. Sequencing is pretty important with this deck if you want to maximize your odds of seeing what you want to see. Even when we didn't draw too well, I felt we did sequence very properly. If you have any questions on sequencing, maybe if you disagree about sequencing, go ahead and drop a comment below. Make sure you guys are liking the video and subbing. It all helps with the algorithm. Just share, like, all that good stuff. I will be back in 2 weeks with Turbo Moon, and that'll drop right before Baltimore as well. I'm going to try and get that video dropped right before the regional starts. So, well, not on the day. Hopefully a couple days before the regional. So look forward to that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.